Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elvia and for today's first impressions we will be using the Tarteist Pro Palette, which looks like this, and it's gold in the back, and the palette itself is really beautiful. If I can even open it. Oh, there we go. And this is what the shadows look like. They're so pretty. Today's look, I will be using these two rows in the center just because I feel like I always go with those brown shades. If you've been watching my channel, I love the oranges and the brown shades. So I'm gonna go towards those purplish tones for today's look. I want to try something new and show you something new. If you've seen my first impressions videos, I go through the process of explaining to you what I think about each shade that I do apply on my eye. Is it blendable? Is it giving me any issues? And ultimately at the end of the look, whether or not I do recommend the palette or I don't, as well as where you can find it and how much it costs. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. That would be awesome. Help a girl out. And without further ado, let's get started. I will be using my Tarte eyelash curler to begin with because I'm always forgetting it, or I use it like last minute and then I like smudge things, remove things around. So I'm just gonna start using it right off the bat. I will be using my Urban Decay primer potion. This is the original one, and I will be placing that all over my eyelid. I just want to point out, if you hear any weird crackling noises, it is really windy outside, and I mean, it feels like the wolf is outside of my house trying to blow my house down. So just so that way you know, that's the sound that you're hearing most likely. The first color I will be using is Classic, and I will be using my large shader brush from Sigma, the E60, and placing that all over my eye area. That color went on really smoothly. So far so good. So I will be layering on a lot of different shades just because I want to give you an honest opinion on a lot of these shadows, not just 2 or 3 of them, but at least 6 of them, and you can decide whether or not this is a palette for you. So that way you are aware you do not have to use all these colors, but for the purpose of this video I will be doing so. So I will be going in with my favorite brush in the world, which is the Sigma E40 brush, and starting off with this color Chic and placing that right above my crease area. So this color applied really nicely, but I think because of my skin tone, you can barely see it there, which is fine because again, I'm going to be adding another color into my crease and blending it together, so that should help with the appearance of it, I'm hoping. But it did go on smoothly. Maybe if I was a little bit lighter skinned, you could see it more. The next color I will be using is this color called No Filter, just right there, and I will be using my Sigma E38 brush for that and placing it right in my outer crease area and then working it inward. So that color went on really nicely. I am going to say that I thought that the color was going to have a lot more pigmentation to it, which isn't really disappointing to me just because it did have the right amount of pigment, in the sense where I did pick up a little bit too much and it wasn't just like bam and I messed up. If I wanted to darken this shadow look, I could probably go back in with that color and layer it on, but I'm not going to do that. This is the amount of pigmentation that I needed, but it just looked like it would probably have been a little bit darker. But I am happy with it, so I don't want you to get confused on whether or not I like it or not, because I do. But if you expected it to be exactly as it appears in there, which is a lot darker than the way it looks, then no, it isn't as pigmented as it looks, but it's the right amount for me. I hope you understood that. Next, I'll be using my E40 brush again and blending both those colors together. The next color I want to use is this color Drama, which is right there. And I'm going to be taking my Sigma E45 brush and going into the outer corner of my eyelid and then gently pushing that color right up into my crease to try to create more definition in that crease area. Okay, so to start off with saying is that this color is actually going on a little bit patchy. It could be because I'm using the wrong brush for it. So I will be switching brushes and see if maybe that helps the situation going on there. I'll be using my Sigma E25 blending brush for this and see if maybe that helps. And it really didn't help the situation there. I still can't get the color to fully blend completely, so I'm just gonna have to move on to the next eye really. Okay, so applying it on the other side of my eye with just this one brush, it went on much better and smoother than when I did it with the other brush. Do you see how patchy that is compared to this one? So that was my mistake, and it does happen sometimes when you are using eyeshadows that the brush matters a lot, and whether you're gonna get a patchy result like this or a smoother result like this, which is like like damn it. But I'm gonna try and work on this one and see if I can smooth it out somehow. So now that I fixed the look, I actually had to remove it with a Q-tip, go back in with some primer potion, and then place some of that classic shade above it, and then work that color in again, and now it's like nothing ever happened. So I'm glad that I didn't have to completely take everything off, that just by skipping some steps and doing that, they both match perfectly fine together. So now taking my E40 brush, I will be blending everything together. So the next color I want to go into, and I'm really excited to use this color just because it looks so pretty in here, is this color Mod. It's like this reddish tone. And taking my Sigma E55 brush, and it is stained from the last video I did with my daughter. I'll be placing that color Mod from the center of my eye into my inner corner. Only on the eyelid though. Wow. That is so gorgeous. I really love these shades together. I'm really impressed with that color Mod shade. There was a lot of pigmentation in that color, and it really stuck to the eyelid, and I'm just really impressed with that color. And then I really want to darken up the outer corner. So I want to use this color Vamp here and see if I can be successful in it, because I don't want to use the color Punk, which is like this black color, and change the look. I want to stay with those purpley shades. So to apply the Vamp color, I will be taking my E55 brush that I applied this reddish Mod color, and taking my Sephora Color Switch by Vera. I'll be taking my brush right over it just to clean out any extra pigment that might have been left behind, which obviously there is. So I'm going to be tapping my brush in very gently into it because I don't want to get too much of it, just in case it's really, really pigmented. And I'm just going to be dabbing it on the edge here. I'm really impressed with that Vamp shade. It really amplified my smokiness effect that I want to go with in this look. And then again with your E40 brush, just blend everything together. Okay, so getting into some of the shimmery shades, I do know that I want to use this color Minx here and place that from the center into the inner corner of my eye. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be bringing it any further back yet, just because I want to see how the color looks. I will be using my Sigma E32 brush for this, and I'm not going to put any MAC Fix Plus yet, just because I want to see how it applies with a brush without it being wet. I'm really impressed with this shimmery shade, and I do think I want to bring it slightly back, but without too much product, just whatever is left on my brush, just to make it a little bit more shimmery. I'm curious to see if I were to use my brush wet, if it would make it more shimmery. So I am actually going to try that and hope that I don't mess up what I just did. I'm going to be taking my MAC Fix Plus and just spraying my brush here. And it did. It slightly did make it much more brighter. Now for my lower lash line, I'll be going into the color No Filter and Drama, which is these two colors here. I'll be using my Sigma E20 brush for those colors. But first, I want to give my lower lash line more definition. So I am going to be using my Lorac eyeliner pencil. And this is a purple shade called Plum. And I'm going to be lining my lower lash line with this. So the first color I will be using is the color No Filter and placing that all under my eye. And then going into the color Drama with the same brush, I will be smoking out the outer edge. I do want to brighten the inner corner of my eye, so I will be going in with the color Glam and placing that with my Sigma pencil brush, the E30. By placing Glam right in the inner corner of my eye, I don't know if you can tell, but it helps soften up the look a little bit more, so it looks a little bit more brighter and it doesn't look so dark and gloomy. So it does make the whole difference in the world if you use a shimmery light shade in your look in the inner corners of your eye. I really love how this look is coming out, but I am going to finish off with some tattoo liner from KatvonD, some lights, camera, lashes, mascara, as well as some falsies, which I will be using my Ardell 110. So I will be doing that off camera for the sake of the length of this video, so I'll be back in a minute. And here is the finishing look. Thank you so much for watching my first impressions on the Tarteist Pro Palette by Tarte. I really enjoyed doing this look. I'm really surprised at how well it all came out together. The palette is $53. You can find it at Ulta, Sephora, and on the Tarte Cosmetics website. Now the question is it worth it? I'm going to say yes. The fact that they included these shimmer shades in the palette just makes it functional. You know, you don't have to grab another palette to grab a shimmery shade. It's all here. The essential shimmers that you will need are in this palette, and then a endless amount of matte shades that you can create multiple looks for it. And for that reason, I do recommend the palette. Even though I did have some issues with the palette with certain shades blending, or on my part it was brush issues, it is going to be trial and error for me when using my brushes with the eyeshadows. As you saw, changing my brushes made the whole difference in the world with certain shades. So I do recommend the palette in that sense. But I hope you enjoyed watching my video on my first impressions on this palette, as well as the look that I did. And don't forget to subscribe, and I will see all of you soon. Bye!